We're going to get started in just a few minutes. If I can just have everybody's attention, please. I just want to say a real quick couple of things. First of all, congratulations on getting to this point. This is it's getting near the end of the school year, but it's also the starting point for everybody here. We do have 2 weeks of school and 1 week of finals left, or a week and a half, however you want to count it out. You know what we have left? The hard work you've done up to this point, make it pay off. Make it pay off by finishing up strong, earning those grades that you've earned to this point, or improving them over this last couple weeks, getting ready for finals. Take that extra hour or 2 or 3, depending on what your schedule is, to get ready for finals and make all the work you've done this year pay off. Don't waste it by taking a couple days off before finals. All right, that's my fatherly advice. I told my daughter the same thing probably 3 times over the past week, and I'll probably just say it 3 more times the next week as she rolls her eyes at me. Make it pay off. We are going to honor our graduates for a couple minutes. All of you that are in the audience here, next year or possibly the year after, will be going through the same things that they're going through as far as getting ready for commencements. I know you all will make it, even if you wind up moving. Because I know some of you are here because you've moved a lot, and that's why you fell behind in your credits. You will be successful wherever you go. You are here, this is the starting point. The starting point for the rest of your life, whether it's education in high school or beyond. So thank you very much, and in just a moment, when the music starts, that's when we're getting everything started. We've got a lot of fun stuff today to do. The weather's perfect, and the teachers planned a great day, put in a lot of time and effort, and I know a lot of you did as well. So thank you to all of you for all your help and assistance. Before we begin our program today, seniors, first of all, congratulations on making it to this point. It's terrific. I do want to tell you the same advice I just told everybody else. I don't know if you could hear downstairs. You got a short time left. Don't make sure to make all that hard work you put into this point pay off by putting in that little extra effort at the end here. Make it all pay off, and we'll see all of you in fancier attire with me in fancier, everybody here in fancier attire in about 3 weeks at Salem High School Auditorium for the formal graduation. I'll give you my real address then, along with some of the other students. So we're all excited, and without, welcome to our end of the year honors ceremony, everybody. Today is a day of celebration. So from here forward, I want everything to be positive. I think we're going to have a good time today. We've had a good time the year past. I want to special thank you to the parents that are here, and I know there's some others that are coming in to help out. And thank you again to all of the students who worked very hard, and teachers who worked very hard over the past few weeks to put this all together. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you somebody who some of you met already, and she can provide us with some very exciting things. I see Mr. Peace. How much time do I have? Until about 10 or so. I think Tracy said something like that. Is that good? Okay. I go by Mr. Peace. Before I begin any of my talks, though,
I just like to let those know who I'm speaking to let them know that every breath that I take today will be worth your time. So I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, and it wasn't coming to me until I got an email late last night. And I was just speaking over at Legacy High School last week. That's over in Heartland, and it's an alternative school too. And I got this email from this girl, and the subject line in the email was the worst day of my life. And she said, remember when you were giving a speech at my high school Legacy? I was the girl with the black hair sitting by my all-time best friend and the other girl. But anyways, you remember when you said, do you remember the worst day of your life? And I know that it might have looked like I wasn't paying attention because I was playing with my friends, but I heard every word. But there was all those people who raised their hands, and I remember thinking, I've never had such a bad day I've gone through. You know, I've gone through some hard times, but I've never had a worse day in my life. But then May 20th, 2011 came around, and my best friend OD'd. She almost died. Stitching out on her was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. But it saved her life, and now she's in rehab. She was mad at me when she was still high from the pills, but the next day she didn't remember a thing. And I told her it all, and she was never mad at me. It was hard to say bye, but at least she's alive, and I know she'll be back. And somehow, with you talking shortly to me for that day, it made it not so hard to deal with. So I've been wanting to thank you, because your words gave me hope. Maybe this story can be told to someone who's dealing with the same thing, what I had to do on that scary day, so that they won't be as scared and confused and lost as I was. Thank you. So I get a lot of emails like that and F-book messages and stuff, and I got like mixed emotions, you know, like I'm really, really saddened because my heart bleeds for the youth especially, and when I hear those types of things, it really hurts me, you know, to think that somebody would want to take their life. But then I got this extreme joy and happiness too when I hear about a miracle like this, where one action saved a life. Somebody having the courage to stand up for what they knew was right. And I think about taking someone's life, you know, in general, and how precious life is, and how suicide really, it's never about wanting to die, it's about not wanting to deal with the pain anymore. How many of you guys could tell me like when your most painful memory was? Show of hands. How long ago? 2 years ago? Yeah, you got it. About 9 years ago? Anybody else? Painful memory? Yeah. About 5? Anybody else have a painful memory?
No.
Mine was about 10 or 11 years ago probably, one of mine. Tracy, how about you? 13 years ago. You know, it's funny, I'll be talking to like age 5 to 95, and I'll be talking to 5-year-olds, and they're like, my most painful memory was like 10 years ago, man. I'm like, what, but you're only 5? And they're like, yeah, but it was, and so they just think it was. And I'll be talking to like 85-year-olds, and they'll tell me that their most painful memory was 70 or 80 years ago. And they raise their hand, just like a lot of you did too, which tells me that the pain's still raw. It's still in their heart, and they remember it just like it was yesterday. And I always compare us, like when we're born, you know, we're like an empty cup. And we're like pure and innocent, free of any of those painful experiences in our life. But little by little, the cup gets full. And you see what happens, you know, people want to take their life or someone else's. That's the extreme. But my question always is that if that pain gets so full, if that cup gets so full, how can there ever be any more room for love in your life? 2001, the Twin Towers got knocked down. one of the fathers that died, his final words to his son, he was one of the ones that died in Twin Towers that day. His final words to his son that morning were, "You're a loser, I hate you." And that's the legacy that his son now has of his father. Those words keep ringing in his head, even 10 years later. I had this little third grader I was talking to. His first name was Dominic, and he says, "Hey, Mr. Peace, do you know what my most painful memory was?" I said, "No, man." He's like, "It was 2 years ago in first grade." And he said, "I was on the bus, and I had my heart broken." And I'm like, "Oh, man." I said, so I asked him if it was like a girl or something, you know. He's like, "No. This bully turned around and told me that I'm never going to have any friends." And he said, "But you know what?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "Now I have best friends." And I think about my friend Dwayne. He's about 15 years out of high school. And he's told me this story a couple times where he's been in the local grocery store and he sees this girl that he picked on day after day after day after day after day for like 2 years straight back in high school. And he can't even look at her because he feels so much guilt of how he treated this person 15 years ago. And I'm saying this right now because the rumors and the gossip don't end when you leave this school or leave this building. They continue way past that. But you're going to have a choice about whether you choose to either uplift or destroy through your words, through your thoughts, and through your actions. What is your name right here? Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay. Sorry. I was going for the girl in front of you. It's okay, though. But, hey, man, Chad, it's nice to meet you, man. Hey, what's your name? Megan? Is it H-A-N or A-N? Oh. Oh, I like it. All right. That's unique. Cool. Very cool. So, I go up to Megan, and I say, "Megan, I believe in you. I know you're going to impact so many lives during your lifetime because of your open heart. You're a leader. You're a positive person. I mean, Megan, you're amazing just the way you are." And then I saw her face. How does it make you feel? A little bit scared, maybe? Happy? Good? Happy inside? Sometimes people say, "Yeah, what the?" Oh, they're a little bit scared. But anyways, let's reverse that situation. About the same amount of time, and I come up to Megan and I say, "Megan, I got this pocket dictionary, right? And next to the word ugly is your picture. And how does it make you feel?" You laugh? Okay. Okay. Some people say that they get mad or upset or it makes them feel kind of bad, you know. I mean, maybe there's something a little more hurtful than that. But the point is, and thank you for being a good sport, and I did think because you are very beautiful. Give a round of applause, guys. Thank you for being a good sport, but what I'm just trying to prove is that in a matter of 2 seconds, really, in a matter of 2 to 5 seconds, you have the ability in your lifetime, in your life, to either uplift somebody and empower somebody, empower them, you know, as high as the clouds, or cut them so low that some of that pain still stays with them for years. Some of the people that rose their hands today, it's always the question in my mind, you know, has it been some of us that have contributed to that pain? Something to think about. So, I had this epiphany the other night when I was dreaming. How many of you guys dream? Okay, good. That's good. So I had this dream that I bought this Toyota Prius and a cow, and I was with my buddy, but I told him to, "You go and take the Prius, you can drive home, and I'm gonna take the cow home myself." So I put it in this wooden crate, in this box. I put this cow in this box, and I started carrying it home on my shoulders, like that, you know. And I'm carrying it, and I'm going through these like rolling fields, this like rolling meadows, and in the distance I hear like these tumbles, like the ground's kind of shaking, you know. And I see these kids like in these barrels going down this hill, and they're like tumbling down the hill, you know. And then it's getting closer and closer, it's getting louder and louder. And all of a sudden, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're coming right towards me and my cow. So I drop my cow, I dive out of the way just in time, and one of the kids, the barrels, goes right through my crate, right through my cow. And I'm like, oh. And so I go down, I kneel down next to my cow, and it's got tubes like all out, like all like stomach lines like everywhere and stuff, because it's like one of those Avatar cows. It's got like all these like gadgets and stuff, you know, and I'm like, oh cow, no, and I remember it clearly that he was like, Kevin, fix me. And I told him, I don't have time. I don't have time. And I woke up, and I just started thinking to myself how on a daily basis, I mean every day, us taking sometimes a couple seconds out of our day, how much of an impact it can have on somebody else. But so many times we get so busy, we get so caught up in our lives that we don't have time to help somebody out. I was at the OG the other day, Olive Garden, and I saw this guy sitting, by the bus station. I was about to pull out. Could you hold that for me? Thanks. Or just kind of, yeah, you guys are both up. And I don't know if you guys can read it. It said, need human kindness. That's what the sign said. And, thanks. Okay, thank you. And I remember seeing the situation develop, you know, and it was like people were going out of their way to like avoid any type of potential interaction with this person. His head was down and he had this bag next to him, so I could tell he was homeless. And I saw people, like, as soon as they saw him, you know, they were like kind of like going out of their way. They're like, oh, okay, you know, like, I mean, even then, like, there's the bus station, like right next to him. They'd like kind of go around him like that, and then come around like the other side, just so they wouldn't have to talk to him. And as soon as they saw him, like they got like the fake phone calls out, like, hey mom, how's it going? I know you're not here, but I'm just talking to you because I want to talk to this guy, and the iPods. And I saw this develop, you know. And eventually I got out of my car and I went up to the guy. His name was Jared. And the first thing I said to him was that I see you. I see you as equal. I see you. And we sat there for probably a couple hours, like on the concrete, you know. And what was funny that, like, after that time, for as much as I might have empowered him that day, it's like, for as much as I gave, I received that much more. And it only took a little bit of my time and my energy to do that. You see, instead it pains me to see a homeless body by the bus station, people going out their way to avoid a situation, or any interaction with this human in need, when need human kindness is all that his sign reads. So some people keep passing by, some zig and some zag, not wanting to have to talk to the man dressed in the rags, but his head's down in shame, sitting by his plaid bag. The words on his poster are a prayer for someone to lend a hand. So I approach him, because my heart drips, yeah, it bleeds, for those of us fortunate, our fellow human beings. You see, some people more than anything just want to be seen, especially the dirty and the shunned of the society. And if you can't spare any change for a beggar in the streets, then at least encourage them to get back onto their feet and listen to the story, the sweet song that they speak. For as much as you give, the more you shall receive. Yeah, there's so much pain. There was a story. One of my friends was speaking out in California, and there was 2,000 students in the school, 2,000 students. And at the end of the talk, they had like an open mic session, so people could come up and say some stuff if they wanted to, right? And this girl who was like a paraplegic and was disabled comes up on the mic. And in front of 2,000 students, she points to the star football player, the star athlete. Us being in church, he was kind of like Moses, like when he walked down the hallways, like people parted, you know, just like the Red Sea. You know, he was like that popular. And she points to him and she says, "I love you." And people start kind of laughing, you know. And she says it again. She's like, "I love you, man." People start laughing more. And right at that time, he had a couple choices, you know, whether he could join in the laughter or do something that might impact this girl's life for the rest of her life. So he got up in front of 2,000 people in this gym, in front of 2,000 people, and he rushed over to her, picked her up, and gave her one of the biggest hugs she's ever had in her life. And you can't even begin to imagine the impact that one action had on her life. Could have saved her life. And for a couple hours after that, for 2,000 people straight, every one of those students, every one of those 2,000 came up and gave her a hug, one after another. Every one of them. And this is the girl that's the laughing stock of the school, getting picked on every day, right? And you never know when your one action, you know, could save a life. You never know when, and that's what all of you have that power. All of you have that power. Where on a daily basis, you could be picking somebody else up, saving a brother or saving a sister. That's on a daily basis, but like for the rest of your life, how many of you guys know what you want to do? Anybody? Yeah. Okay. Be a mechanic? Yeah. Run your dad's company? Veterinarian? Okay. Anybody? Yeah. Computer programmer? What is it?
I wanted to be a teacher since I was 5.
Hey man, anything's possible. Yeah. Michigan State Spartan? Okay. Anybody on this side? Yeah. Police officer? Air Force? Yeah. Sing? Alright, we'll get on the track together. Cool. What's your name? Sarah. Nice to meet you. So all of you guys got some big aspirations, right? I didn't see your hand in the room go up. I didn't expect it to, but you know, I'll be talking to a group of 5- and 6-year-olds, asking what they want to do with their life, and every hand in the room is up. They're like, "Oh, I want to be a T-Rex," probably. They want to be a rock star, a singer, actress, rocket scientist, I mean, anything. And then I ask them another question. I say, how many of you believe that you're already that? That you're already the veterinarian, the Spartan, the police officer, Air Force, the singer? And every hand is still up at 5 and 6 years old. But as I talk to older and older audiences, middle school, high school, college, fewer hands stay up. Because a lot of people maybe don't believe that they can do that. If you got that dream though and that passion, you have to protect it. Because that's what makes life worth living. Kind of from my eyes, you know. And if you don't know what you want to do, that's all right too, because I know what I want to do until a couple years back. And sometimes what I tell people to do is like think about what angers you, like what pisses you off, kind of, because many times what angers you, like what's unjust about the world, is maybe where you're being called to be. Like if your heart bleeds for youth, for the elderly, you know, for the environment, whatever it is, maybe that's what you're being called to do. And think about not what you want to be maybe, but who you want to be. Who you want to be for this planet, for your community. Those are things that you have to think about. You know, because I come to these schools and they bring me in, and I was telling the leadership team when I met with Tracy a couple weeks back, I come in to speak about, you know, suicide and substance abuse and bullying and cyberbullying and violence. But to me, Those are just the symptoms and the byproducts of deeper root causes that are like people that don't have a sense of purpose yet in their life, don't have that connection yet. Because if you got a sense of purpose and every day you get up with a fire inside, something that makes you come alive, that every fiber of your being is totally alive. If you find that and have that, you don't have time for all these other abusive habits in your life. And all these Facebook status updates, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored with a capital B. I don't have time to be bored. Because I found something in my life that I'm willing to lose sleep over, that I'm willing to die for. I keep the passion burning in me alive, overcoming any and all of the hate, and look close, see the fire in my eyes, sparking the brains of the youth of a nation, always doing more to even the score, fighting for a cause I'm willing to die for. So just do whatever you do with love, cause you'll rise above. One day they're gonna thank you, yeah. Thank you. But I found something that I wanted to die for, you know? And I remember it clearly, you know, that it's sometimes hard to do, even if you do find what you love, that there's going to always be obstacles in your life. I remember when I first told my mom and dad, Dennis and Mary, I sat down next to them at dinner, and I'm sitting there, Dennis and Mary. I remember looking at my dad, and I just told him how much I loved him. I just kept saying, Dad, I love you. I love you, man. And his response back was like, all right, what do you want? You know, that was his response. But it was like the first time consciously in my life, that I told my father that I loved him. Because I don't come from like a huggy, touchy family, you know. And, you know, I probably said it when I was like 2 or 3 and talking to him, but it was the first time I told him that I loved him, and I told him what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And all the questions started to come, well, how you can make any money, how you can do this, how you can support yourself. And I told him, I don't know. But I do know that this is what I love, and this is my passion, and I gotta try it. And then I remember asking my mom and dad, it's my mom and dad, I remember asking them, you know, what is it that you want to do with your life? You know, and for 35 years of their life, it was something that they would have not rather done. But they chose what was best for their family at the time. And I asked my aunts and uncles the same question, and my grandma and grandpa, and they did something with their life that wasn't their ultimate passion. And I don't fault them, and I don't fault anybody's parents or anybody that chooses that path, but I'm saying if you're at this age and this stage in your life, where you can start thinking about that, what it is that truly makes you come alive, I mean, why not start now? You know? I was working 4 jobs, 90-hour weeks, and money was my only motivation for what I do, for what I did. And I'm making it crystal clear here today that I'm not saying that money's not important, because it's what makes this school run, it's what makes this church run, and you need money. It's got to be part of your motivation. But if it's your only motivation for what you do in your life, there will never be enough of it. I've seen people that have compromised their entire life for it. Kind of sold out to it. The bottom line is never going to be enough. If I asked you guys right now, tell me the names of the last 5 presidents of GM. I don't think too many people can tell me. I mean, I ask people that work at GM and they can't tell me. But if I asked you the names of the last 5 people in your life that have had an impact on you, I bet every hand in the room could tell me somebody, a coach, a teacher, a friend. And you know, some of these people, you know, they work 18 to 20-hour days just to reach a title, to advance in a company that how many of us remember their names? Something to think about. And you know what? When it comes to life, nothing's ever going to hit as hard as life. Nothing's ever going to hit as hard as life. But that's the beauty of it, is that life is 1% what happens to you, and 99% how you react to it. That all of you, and I'm not coming here today trying to pretend that I know what goes on behind closed doors or in your lives. I'm not trying to pretend that I know any of that. What I'm trying to say, though, is that all of you have the opportunity to break whatever cycle in your life that you don't want for your kids, that you don't want for your family, that you make divorce not the norm, that you make abuse not the norm. You make finding and fulfilling your passion the norm. All of you have that. I knew this guy named Tony. He was in a gang in Detroit, about 6'2", 270. Going home one day through some rival gang territory on his bike. These guys jumped him, took him in an alley, spray painted his eyes, beat him with cinder blocks, baseball bats, stabbed him and shot him. He died twice on the way to the hospital, but they revived him. And once he healed, from that day on, he started talking to youth about gang violence. And he put down his guns. I know there's other two kids, high schoolers, Olympic caliber athletes, wrestlers. One of the brothers got diagnosed with ALS when he was a junior. Lou Gehrig's disease. It kind of destroys your central nervous system. So the other brother, and these guys are pure muscle, the other brother had to watch his one brother that had this disease for a year and a half wither away to nothing. He had to watch him do that. And on the night of his funeral, he downed a fifth of vodka. And he got behind the wheel of the car. And he drove opposite way down traffic. He hit a car, spun off, hit into a telephone pole, but he survived. Behind the steering wheel of his car, he started crying because he realized that he got a second chance. And so he started talking about his brother, going around speaking about his story so that he didn't die in vain. My story was diagnosed with hepatitis C in 2008. There's no cure for it. A and B there is. Went through a year of treatment in 2009. Shot every week, 6 pills a day. I lost 40 pounds in a month. Was borderline anorexic. In and out of ER throughout the entire year. It was my most painful year on this earth. And I still viewed it as a blessing and as an opportunity. And right now the levels have gone down to a non-traceable level. But you know what? It brought me closer to my faith. It taught me a lot about balance in my life. And it brought my family and friends closer together, which is kind of what I was praying for at that time in my life. See, everything is your angle of vision and how you view things. There was this one rabbi who went to a cancer institute. He had this big white piece of paper, kind of like this. He put a dot right in the middle. And he said, I want you all to view your cancer like that dot and all the white space, all the great things in your life. All the gifts, all the blessings, all the people. And if you view things like that, there's not nothing that you can't get through. I've been held at gunpoint. I've had a lot of other near-death experiences, you know. But there's nothing that you can't get through. 2 pistols cocked and yeah, your whole life flashed before your eyes. Then you have 2 choices, forgive or remain full of despise. But I forgave them and prayed for them because they knew not what they do. And because hate in your heart will consume you too. You see, peace doesn't mean you won't find trouble, violence, or noise. It means in the midst of all that stuff, you still find calm, that inner joy. And if you can have that mentality and make it past anything in life, because I know all of you can. I've just told you some examples of people that can. If you can do that, that's great, but at the same time, like I was talking to Megan, if all 100 of us or so surrounded you and said how great you are and how much we believe in you, it doesn't mean nothing unless you buy into it yourself, unless you believe it inside. I was at a workshop, 50 people, 25 women, 25 men. And on the last day of the workshop, after I spilled my guts to these people and we just became like a family, I mean, 50 complete strangers, but we just were a family after these 3 days. They asked a question, the two presenters, and they said, how many of you have thought about committing suicide? And I was the only person in the room that didn't stand. And I started crying. Because after 3 days of getting to see all their gold, all their worth, everything inside of them, all their gifts, they thought about taking their lives. But I see why it happens. I mean, like we talked about the pain, right? I was at my house the other day, my parents' house. I had to get my birth certificate, you know? And I cry a lot, I guess, but tears of strength. I started crying again when I held it up because I'm thinking about, you know, coming to speak here today. And how every one of you's got a birth certificate like this. Every one of you. And I just started thinking to myself, when your parents first held that, you know, or the doctor first held that he had to be saying to himself, you know, who is this person going to be for the world? Like, what are they going to give back? What are they going to do with their life? What kind of impact are they going to have on somebody? I started thinking about that. You know, all of you got to see that worth. If you close your eyes for a second, just point to yourself. Point to yourself. Take a look around. Most people are probably pointing right here. 9 out of 10 are going to point to your heart. And a lot of times your heart is the only thing that somebody will remember on you, is your heart. And when someone says follow your heart, you could actually be doing it. The Institute of Heart Math has proven that your heart has a separate cognitive process from the brain. So when someone says follow your heart, it's kind of cliche, but you could really be doing it, you know, when you think about it. So you got to think about what you want to be remembered for, as a pain contributor or a pain alleviator. And all you guys been to a funeral before? Keep your hands raised if you've been to a funeral, somebody that died at too young of an age. And what are the things that they're talking about at a funeral? How deep their pockets were, the brand on their clothes, the house. Not usually. It's about whether or not they were a workaholic, a family man, a family woman, a loving mother, a caring father, a great brother, a fantastic sister. You begin with them in mind, and you think about what you want to be remembered for. And how many of you guys got best friends out here? Well, we got a social crowd today. All right, sweet. And what makes a person a best friend? They're there for you. Anybody else? What makes a person a best friend? Someone that you fight with? Okay, so somebody you fight with, but someone that you usually get over the fights too, right? Yeah. Yeah. Someone you can go to. What are you saying? Someone that you have fun with. Okay. Anybody else got best friends? Yeah. Yeah, they're like your family, right? That's right. Yeah, over there. Someone that you can be yourself around, right? Somebody who cares. Okay. I've asked that question thousands of times, and it's about who the person was, right? Who the person is. And this day, Principal Lane had already mentioned it, but this day is about a celebration of who we are, about all of your gifts inside. You know, that's what these awards are. All these awards are a testimony, you know, of who you are inside. Your type of work ethic and that type of individual that you are. I always compare people, you know, to bowling balls and balloons. To bowling balls and balloons. That people that are like bowling balls, you know, they're solid with character. They got a lot of values, principles, morals. they're going to go farther in life. If I was to roll and throw the balloon at the same time, the bowling ball's going to go farther. If it even hits some stuff, it's not going to be that effective. But someone like a balloon, they're empty. And they just kind of go along with what the crowds are doing, what the masses are doing, even if they know in their heart that it's not right. That it's not right. So it's just some things to kind of ponder, to think about as you go forward and go past here. What you want to be remembered for, and what type of legacy that you want to leave. Can I get a couple people up real quick? Well, I'm going to wrap up here in a minute. You want to come up here for a second? Yeah. You can hold these for me. Excellent. And then you want to come? Yeah. Oh, I grabbed the wrong shirt. That's okay. Here. I meant to grab a different shirt. That's okay. Yeah, hold it over here. But yeah, turn it upside. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Great. Thank you so much. Okay, hold it. Okay, good. All right, so, my ultimate inspiration for what I do are things like this. This is a poster of a kindergarten class that I spoke to in Lansing. They all did their finger paints, and they signed their names, did a peace sign. So I want you guys to all do that for me too. I'm joking. But I love doing that, that's what gives me my fuel, and then this right here are some wooden hands. My friend gave these to me as a gift. He said that I was like his helping hands for him when he was going through some tough times in his life. He's having suicidal thoughts. He had just lost a close friend, a girlfriend, and a job. A lot of things were kind of going down for him. So it's a reminder for me every day when I see these, and I see that, and I see this letter and all this stuff, that this is why I do what I do. This is why I do what I do. And I remember being in a church recently too, and I was in like this youth group room, and somebody traced their hand on the board, and they said like, Brian was here, inside their hand. And that hand was going to get erased, because it was like a dry erase board. But I just thought to myself, that person ultimately left his mark on that spot, on that place, on that moment in time. So what is your mark going to be? If I was to open up your hearts and stuff and probably see a lot of pain and stuff, would I see that there's any room for love? And that you can still have your mark on somebody else's heart. Because all you get is one life, 2 nights, to make things right. Whatever happens, keep my name off the limelight. Contemplate the message, listen to the insight, and do what you can to minimize the blight of hunger, sanitation, and poverty that exists. The mom with no job, the mom with 3 jobs, no spouse and 4 kids. Issues intricate, people being petulant. See the subject but pay no attention to the predicate. Living check to check, catch you feeling mad spent. Mental rent only going to fuel corporate jets. You gotta lay down the fears and embrace the cause. Non-violently challenge all the norms and all the laws. Whether you think you can or can't, you're still gonna be right. So why not go down without at least putting up a fight? You get this one life, so let it be an offering for selflessly serving people and not serving things. The time is now to step into, to breathe into, the blossoming genius inside each and every one of you. And I'm behind you, ready to move this much needed peace, to rise against the rising so-called powers that be. All you get is one life. Thank you for touching my heart today, guys. I appreciate it. I know some of you already got this, but I just dropped my first mixtape, Peace Be With You it's called. So it's got some positive lyrics. You're more than welcome to get a copy. And I got my contact information if you ever want to stay in touch, get at me on F-Book or something. I'm always here, Thank you. Thank you.
Just real quick before we move on with the rest of our agenda for today, I do want to say, because Mr. Peace's message said to me, I want to make sure that I take the opportunity to thank each and every one of you here for how you've touched my life. Some of you I've gotten to know very well, because I see you often in my office. Some of you I have not had the opportunity to get to know very well, but I still see the things you do, and I watch what you're doing and how you get through life day to day, and it touches me. Those of you that I have gotten to know well, I want to thank you extra special. Not for the things that you've done that have brought you to my office, but for the things, our interaction, our opportunity to interact. I hope that I have helped you to become a better person. But even if I have not, you have helped me to become a better person, to become a better father, and to help by either helping you or by not being successful in helping you, to help future students. So I want to thank each and every one of you for who you are. And there is not one person in this room that I've ever spoken with that does not have good in their heart. Please, please know that. Long after you are gone from here, whether I'm here or somewhere else, I will carry a little piece of you with me. And I think that goes for all the adults in this room. And every person you interact with, they're going to carry a piece of you with them. And I'm thankful for the piece of you that I get to carry with me for the rest of my life. Moving on. A couple pieces of business. One, if you came in late, make sure when we leave the church that you check in with Ms. Harris to make sure you're marked here for attendance. If there are any students who are graduating this year that came in late, we do want you to move up to the front. If there's anybody, I don't know, the people that came in late, if any of them are graduates for this year, we'd like you to do that. You can do that now. Anyone? Was there anybody? Okay. I see somebody coming up. There's one person that's not coming up that is graduating this year, but I want to make sure that this person, another person that does get to come up that's graduating this year, because I want to say a few words about this person. It's a particularly special graduate that we have this year that has helped a tremendous, not only is this person getting tremendous success, she has helped a lot of other students here. Even students that have left here, they come back and continue to ask her for her help, which is a true testament to what this person has done. Most of you are aware of this, but Miss Abraham is graduating this year. She is going to the world of retirement. And as with any teacher, many students really enjoy having her as a teacher. Many students have not. But the true testament to her impact, a couple of things that I want you to know about her legacy here. One, she was very instrumental on this school being seen as important by the school district. She has done a tremendous amount of work with other teachers and with the administration, with the union, to ensure that this program remains viable and a strong place for students here to learn. And teachers have the security and support that they have so they can give you the support that you need. So, very, very good legacy. The true testament to her legacy is every year, more than any other teacher I've worked with, students who have moved on to college come back, meet with her at lunch before school or after school to get help preparing for their class that they're taking in college. And they always say to me, you know, I'm so glad she was tough on me during that class. I hated it at the time, but boy am I glad, because I'm so ready for what I'm doing and able to be successful because of the impact that she had on me while I was here. So thank you very much, Ms. Abraham, and good luck in your next career. We have another person who wanted to say a few words to you. First-year teacher who's finishing up his first year, has been a great addition to our program. Also mentored by Ms. Abraham. Mr. Creaky wanted to say a few words to you.
Thank you. Well, I was asked to speak today, and as per usual for me, I have everything written down. So I'm going to do my best to be able to speak what I've written without reading it. However, I am going to need some reminders, so I will be looking down once in a while. First of all, when I was looking for a job, you know, I knew Plymouth Canton was a place to come. And there were a couple of job openings. One of them was at Pioneer in here. And I got fortunate enough to be able to come here to get an interview. And when I started here, I wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, I had gotten online, I had done some research to see what Starkweather was. You know, I saw that the class selections and everything I read, to me, it was just another high school, but it wasn't just another high school. I understood that a lot of the students here were not successful in the traditional high school settings like at the park or Churchill, Northville, John Glenn, any others that I'm missing, guys? Stevenson. You know, and I got to tell you, when I got hired here, I had some friends that were teachers at the park. I had some teachers that had become friends in Walled Lake because I had long-term sub there also. And I kind of got that, oh, you're teaching Starkweather. Well, I hope that's all right for you. Well, I didn't let that deter me. I mean, my students will tell you that I came in open-minded. Because I truly felt that it was just a high school students. Not just high school students. You guys know that had me, know that I came here to, and I've said it before, infect you guys, hopefully with the love of math, and at worst, less of a hatred. I also wanted to help you guys become better thinkers. And most important, I wanted to better prepare you for life after high school. And like I said, that's the most important part to me. I told my students that my goal was to help you make better decisions than what I did, so that you didn't have to spend as many years doing jobs that you had to do, rather than getting to do a career that you wanted to do. Because, guys, honestly, you guys look at me and see me as a teacher. I'm not a lot different from a lot of people in here. I came from a single-parent family on welfare. My mom, my sister and I had different dads. You know, I got free lunches until I was a senior in high school when I got reduced lunches. So, you know, we actually stepped forward in life. I got hand-me-down clothes. We bought a lot of clothes from the thrift store. Anybody seen those iron-on patches that you wear on your clothes? I don't see them a whole lot anymore, but I had a lot of clothes like that, so I got picked on a lot. That was all right. Right here, right? See, got picked on for that anyhow. So, we'll order some patches, no big deal.
Maybe a ginger giant, but you're all right.
You got that right, little slave. By the way, I was up late this past week. And I was also from the wrong side of a small town. And my students have heard me talk about Bryan, Ohio. That's where I'm from. It was a rich town, and I was a poor kid in a rich town. So I was from the wrong side of town. And yeah, I know some of you guys know that my high school experience was a little different than yours. I was very successful in a traditional high school setting. But that doesn't mean I don't know what struggle is. I've already told you a little bit before, but after I got to be an adult, I made some poor decisions, and it ended up getting me to a point where I didn't know where I was going to get money to pay for rent, to buy food, to get gas, to be able to go to work or do things that I wanted to do. In fact, I spent 6 months, and it was from November to April, walking to work so I could save money to be able to lease a truck. Well, it just turned out that after I got that money saved up, I had so bad credit that I still needed to have somebody co-sign for me. So for those of you who have taken economics, Pay attention to that. Make sure you watch your credit because they got me. I don't want them to get you. And if that wasn't bad enough, 2 years after the lease, or from when I started the lease, I wanted to buy the truck. My credit was still bad enough that I had to have a cosigner. But that was the story of my life to that point. Every step I took forward, it felt like I was taking 2 steps back. I just couldn't get ahead of my bad decisions. So, I just had to keep going forward. And at this point in my life, I had become a meat cutter. I know a few of you, I've told you different things I've done. I had become a meat cutter. And the stores that I worked for, he wasn't my direct boss, but he was the owner of the stores, passed away. Well, they ended up selling to Farmer Jack. I worked for Farmer Jack, and I got taught to do a lot of things. Gosh, I hesitate to tell you, but things that I felt were unethical from the meat department because my first boss had me doing things the right way so that you guys got a good product. But that aside, I had to get out of there. So in the next 3 years, I worked at 3 different stores. And I got to a point, because some of it was by my choice, some of it wasn't, because I chose to get away from places that weren't doing so good at things. But then I chose, then the time that I didn't get to choose, my store closed. I went on unemployment, and I decided at this point in time, I needed to go back to school. I needed to get things back on track. So, from there, I started back to school. At this point, I was able to take care of myself financially. That doesn't mean that right now I don't have over $30,000 worth of debt because I have lots of student loans. But like I said, finally I made a good decision. I was back on track chasing down my dream of becoming a teacher because when I started college, that was what I started out. I wanted to be a math teacher. And then that one big bad decision kind of derailed that. I know it's not everybody's dream job, but you guys know that have had me that I've told you before, if I can make your life better than what I've done, then I'm doing my job. Yeah, I might not get you to love math, but at least if I can get you to hate it a little bit less and know that you can do it, then I'm doing my job. And I can tell you guys that at the end of my first year, it's been so very rewarding because of the Starkweather family. The teachers, the staff, Mr. Lane, but most of all you guys. You guys are amazing. You care about one another. You accept each other for who you are. You're not what other people outside of here think you are. You are amazing. You are kind. You are helpful. You're funny. You're caring. You are amazing. You are Starkweather. And thank you for letting me be a part of you.
Some friends, some that I hardly know. But we've had some times, I would trip on the world. We chase these days down the toxic places that we will go. We live on from porches and swim like we get by just fine with our minimum wage. The flowers and labor are sent to the end. I won't cross these streets until you hold my hand. Until you hold my hand. You show me yours first. Let's compare scars, I'll tell you who's. There's voices that mark these pages and place them with all the words. We live on front porches and swing rifle. We get by just fine here on minimum wage. If love is the labor, I'll stay till the end. I won't cross these streets until you hold my hand. Swing life away. Swing life away. Swing life away. Swing life away.
One like still picture, the video, Lockwood, you make the video?
Can you say no?
Who made that video? This Kearns. This Kearns made a video, and many, those of you that are with us next year, you're going to have an opportunity to do lots of things like that, as we just put in the tech department just put in the order for 20 Macs for us to use with some video editing software. We're still working to make our building better as long as we're here. Next, we are very, 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 very pleased. We have one more speaker before we get to the awards. But this is somebody very special. Somebody who was sitting in this room last year about the same time for the same reason. This young man graduated from Starkweather last year. He graduated, I first met him at the beginning of the school year with some members of the school board. Not because he was being honored by the school board, because the school board was necessary to approve his right to come back to school after being off for, what, a year? Not by his choice, due to some decisions that were made and some things that had occurred. I'm not going to get into those details, but when I met him, and most of the times when I go through these hearings, and there's one or two people in this room that have been there, they always have a parent or some advocate with them. Mike was there on his own. He was there by himself, supporting himself, making his own case to be allowed to come back to school, and showing that he was ready to come back to school and be serious about this. Mike came back. He was allowed to come back. After being in that meeting, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I should ever share this with you, but myself and Mr. Hayes, who was the hearing officer, said, I hope he makes it, but I don't know. He's got all the ability to do it. But when you see somebody who's coming there on their own and they don't have a parent there with them, they're on their own, and it's tough. It makes it a lot harder to do that. He had to make his own choices. He had a lot to do. He had set himself some high goals to graduate in 1 year. I believe you earned 11 credits in 1 year, was it? 12 credits? Basically, you did 2 years of high school in 1 year. Pretty much. It's not all A's, almost all A's. In addition to that, he did a fundraiser for, what was the tragedy that happened last year? did a little bit of fundraising, just collecting some things for, was it a hurricane? I don't remember what it was, some tragedy that happened in the country. What was that? It was big, it was huge, I can't remember what it was, but he came, we got to do something for these people, just a good person. I don't think there's a person that ever said anything bad about this young man. Went on to Wayne State University this fall. I don't know what his grades were the second semester, but in the first semester I understand he was on the honor roll, is that correct? Not as good, but again, everything, almost everything on his own. Very little help from people in his family. He did it. He's one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life, adult or student. And he agreed to come and say a few words for us. He contacted some teachers. He's got a great haircut, and I know it's a new haircut, because be very careful with your cell phones. I do it too sometimes. Your phone accidentally dials somebody. It accidentally dialed my phone, so I heard about a 10-minute conversation he had with somebody else. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I could just hear the haircut, waiting to see if he was going to pop in and say something on my voicemail. But I'll let him tell you anything else. I don't know what he has planned today, but Mike Hodson.
First off, I want to say, Mr. Peace, man, the lyrics, dog, dope, man. But yeah, my name's Mike Hobson. I went here last year. I got kicked out the park for, they called it repeated installation or something like that, but really it was fighting, gambling, stuff I shouldn't have been doing, you know. And then when I got here, at first I had to get a parent signature, and my dad wasn't trying to sign any of the sheets to let me get into the school. I don't know what the problem was, but he just wasn't trying to. And so I didn't know if I was gonna be able to graduate in time. And the first thing I told my auntie, who was really close to me, like the only person in my family that's close to me, was that I'm just gonna drop out and move back to Detroit. And she slapped me in my head and told me, no, I'm not about to do that. And eventually she talked to me. I lived with her for a couple of months, and then I moved back out here to Canton with my best friend. And came here, started taking 11 classes plus night school, and every teacher in here was nice to me. Everybody, like every teacher, Mrs. Gurns, Mrs. Abraham, Mr. Lane, everybody, Lockwood, made fun of Lockwood a lot, you know, like messing with Lockwood. But I recognize some of your guys' faces here, you know, Anthony, I recognize you, dog. I see a lot of people here. But I just want to say, you know, when I first got here, I didn't think, you know, I'm thinking Starkweather as alternative school. I thought my chances of getting to anywhere was like cut down. You know, I didn't think I was gonna get against any college. I thought maybe like just like a community college or something like that. But graduating from here, I got accepted into Western, Central, Wayne State, Toledo. I think if I would have put my letter in on time, Michigan State. But yeah, so like you can get into any college you want to. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Like, I know it's cliche saying that you can do whatever you want to do in life, but you really can't. Like, I'm in school right now for acting, and that's what I love to do. That's what I want to do. People probably didn't know that, because in high school, you know, I felt like it wasn't cool to tell people that I wanted to be an actor, but I was acting out, you know, getting in trouble. So in a way, I was doing what I wanted to do. But yeah, now I'm in college and doing exactly what I want to do, the acting thing. It's a lot of hard work. You got to study. I never studied in high school, so it was kind of new to me. And studying is helping me out. Met a lot of new people down there in Detroit. Yeah, I don't know what to say. But yeah, when I graduated here, we had this speech. I don't know who was out there. I don't think any of you guys were there, but I did a speech in front of the school. My dad came there, my uncle, and the rest of my family didn't show up, but a lot of my friends showed up. And like, you can make family ties without blood with a lot of your friends. You know what I mean? Pick the right crowds, do the right things, you can graduate on time and everything. I graduated on time within a year. He said 2 years of work, that's what I did. It was hard, but I did it. And I think y'all can do it too. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Really appreciate you being here, and I know Mike would be happy to answer any questions you have about his experiences here or through life. A truly inspirational person. He's one of the, when people ask me about what it's like to work at this school, he's one of the first people that I mention, not necessarily by name, but say, there's this guy that, and many of you as well. There are many people in this room that I talk about, many of you, all the time. You'd be surprised which ones there are. I'm not going to call anybody else out besides Mike, but you'd be surprised. Okay, next, we are going to start our awards, and most everybody in this room has earned an award. Again, this is a celebration. Thank you for a terrific year, and without further ado, who started? Mr. Berger.
Okay, the first awards we have are the Academic Honor Roll for Fall 2010. Caitlin Carrier. Please come forward. Desiree Harrington. Christina Holiday. Kaylee Jeanette. Key Luke. Camille Mitchell. Brianna Morris. Nicole Shinga. Nicholas Bargowski. Corey Brodzik. Tony Elliott. Zachary Somerville. Jasmine Howell. Ayla Katanani. Arnold Lamadrid. And Debbie Akiki. Okay, the next award is...
Kyle, real quick, just before we move on, we're going to have to keep efficiency. Why don't we save applause for each section? And all those people that just received the ribbons for honor roll, please stand so we can see you all.
And please come forward. Please stand up and come forward when I call your name, so that we don't have to, walk through all the rows this way. Okay, so then
forward and then line up over here for the next set of awards.
And then line up. So the next award is the Principals List of 2011, and Daniel Alera, Brian Seglars, Robert Gutowski, Timothy Harrell, Ayla Katanani for semester 1 and 2, Denny Akiki, Arnold Lamadrid, Desiree Harrington, Key Lu, Camille Mitchell, Nicole Shingak, Corey Brodzik, and Cody Elliott.
The principal's list is 3.5 or higher and very good attendance.
The next award is the Advanced Principals Award of 2011, and for this you have to have a 4.0 GPA. Desiree Harrington. And then we have scholarship winners, and just please stand. I'm going to call about 4 names. Please stand, and then we'll give you applause after all 4 people have been called. National Adult Education Honor Society, Aaron Kalka, Ayla Katanani, Arnold Lamadrid, and Sean Van Dyke. The next one is the Plymouth AM Birmingham and Canton Rotary Club's Vocational Technical Education Scholarship, we have Corey Brodzik, Brian Seglars, Robert Gutowski, and Shaniqua Martin. We have the Sandra Sager Rotary Scholarship, Shaniqua Martin and Davion Stackhouse. The Plymouth Canton Education Association Future Teacher Scholarship, Desiree Harrington. The Damaris Starkweather Artist Award, Desiree Harrington. The Plymouth Canton Community Turnaround Achievement Awards were awarded to one Starkweather student, and this award represents a commitment, perseverance, and effort necessary to achieve success. Kaylee Jeanette, please stand and be recognized. And now we have the Semester 1 awards. The Reading Achievement Certificate, Michael Branson and Christian Meza. The Science Achievement Certificate, Jason Eller. Corey Brodzik. Desiree Harrington. Kaylee Jeanette. Deanna Townsend. Kinder Gill, Cody Elliott, Aaron Kalka, Caleb Tobin, Ayla Kazanani, Camille Mitchell, Tori Vance, Sierra Smith, Samantha Smith, Caitlin Carrier, Angie Nukolaj, and Mike Branson. Okay, next is the Mathematics Achievement Certificate. We have Jake Crater, Jalen Rainey, Jasmine Rainey, Cody Elliott, Ben Wright, Arnold Lamadrid, Nicole Shigek, Jasmine Howell, and Kaylee Jeanette.
All right, next we have the Social Studies Achievement Certificate, Deshaun Burton, Key Lu, Kaylee Jeanette, Arnold Lamadrid, Kiera McLaughlin, Camille Mitchell, Caitlin Carrier, Chase Benning, Rayshawn Duncan, Paige Merriman, Rosie Hewitt, Taylor Grimm, Jalen Rainey, Cody Elliott, Felicia Reed, Nicole Shinga, Kilu, Jasmine Rainey, and Jalen Green. Next, we have the Language Arts Achievement Certificate. Corey Brodzik, Brianna Morris, Deshaun Burton, Hollander Gill, Camille Mitchell, Brianna Morris, Cody Elliott, and Tori Vance. Computer Science Awards, Stephen Hill, Dave Blue, Leon Talton, and Tabitha Wright. Next we have an Improvement Award, Hollander Gill, and Anthony Nicolai. Next we have the Math Perfect Attendance First Semester, Eric Kalka, Jason Eller, David Amaya, Corey Brodzik, Deanna Townsend, Scott Rushka, or is it Rushka? And Felicia Reed. Semester 2 awards. We have the Reading Achievement Certificate, Wade Radowski, Christopher McCausland, Urban Mann, and Jessica Dwyer. Science Achievement Certificate, Ayla Katanani.
Yeah, Jesse.
Next we have the Mathematics Achievement Certificate, Kilu, Desiree Harrington, Ayla Katanani, Tim Harrell, Carly Spencer, Sarah Castle, Jasmine Howell, Rob Gutowski, Brian Segalars, Shayna Smith, Zach Somerville, Riley Siebert, and Dan O'Lara. Next we have the Social Studies Achievement Certificate, Sarah Green, Chad Borowski, Cassidy Conrad, Joshua Norris, Samantha Smith, Amanda Tharp, Austin Banfield, Janae Clark, Megan Dell, and Kaylee Janet. Oh, airborne, sorry. Adam Moyer, Dan O'Hara, Kaylee Janet, Tim Harrell, Jalen Rainey, Arnold Maldred, Kilu, Christina Holiday, David Amaya, Megan Della, Sarah Green, Johnny Eichenberg, Kilu, Vinny Malone. Oh yeah! Nicole Shingek. Cassie Conrad. Dakota Hobson.
It's just gonna web down in my
And Jake Liddell. Next we have language arts. I'm going to try that again. Apparently I need this a little bit. The Language Arts Achievement Certificate. Timothy Harrell. Dakota Hobson. Arnold Maldred. Shaniqua Martin. Adam Moyer. Carly Spencer. Kyle Bartlett. Brian Seglars. Oh yeah. Nick McMullen. Nicole Shingek. Angie Nakuba. Sarah Yates. Kilu. Taylor Kazanami. Rob Yutowski. And Tim Harrell. Deanna Townsend. Sarah Smith. I'm sorry, Sierra Smith. Brian Seglars. Next we have excellence in English, American literature, Chase Bennett. Oh yeah! Next we have excellence in English composition, Tim Bidwell. Brian Seglars. Rob Gutowski. Nicole Shingek. Cody Elliott. Amanda Tharp. Davion Stackhouse. Sean Burke, and Kaylee Jean. Next, we have the Visual Arts Achievement Certificate, the Art Achievement Award to Zach Somerville. Excellence in Visual Art, Sierra Smith. Kyle Holderdyke. James Everett. Kurt Kaiser. And Chase Benning. Next I have the Art Smart Award to Jason Eller. Wade Radowski. And Dean Schultz. Next, we have the Leadership in Visual Art. Maurice Spike. Kyle County. Deanna Townsend. Portland Long. And Desiree Harrington.
Kyle Quickspeed.
Next, we have Achievement in Visual Art Painting, Shaniqua Martin and Sarah Krabinsky. Next, we have the Frida Kahlo Art Award to Brianna Morris, Jasmine Rainey, and Caitlin Carrier. Next, we have the Show Up Excellence in Art Award, Corey Brodsing, David J. Frater, Nicole Shingek, Jalen Rainey, and Davion Stackhouse. Next, we have the Computer Science Awards. Tim Midwell and AJ Vitale. Kilu. Cody Elliott and Jake Prater. Sarah Castle. Daniel Lera. And Brian Segler. For our county, we have Rob Gutowski and Deanna Townsend. Math Improvement Award, Anise Nash. We have the Senior Seminar Excellence Award, Brian Seglars, Tim Bidwell, Robert Gutowski, Ayla Kazanami, Shaniqua Martin, Alexis Reyes, Amanda Robinson, Carly Spencer, and Austin Banfield. Perfect attendance, arriving on time, and leadership in the classroom. Respectfully awarded to Tim Midwell for composition. Next I have the I Can Do It Award for Perseverance in Art Lab. Gabrielle Smith. Next we have Outstanding Overall Algebra 1 Award to Kaylee Janet. Outstanding Geometry First Semester Award to Jasmine Smith and Christina Holliday. We have the 2011 Great Stories Book Club members. Alex Valentine. This is his second year. Guy Scott. Karen McLaughlin. Second year. Tim Herrick. Sarah Yates. And Kaylee Janet.
Where's Tim? Where is it? Where's the
For that award, each of those students had to read at least 2 of the books from Book Club. Is that right? And now, Mr. Lane.
Thank you very much, and again, thank you to all the staff that we're going to split into 2 groups now. Okay, we are going to get up and move. We're going to split up into 2 groups. Please, Deshaun, Jalen.
What were the raffle tickets for?
We will be doing the raffles later, so you'll hear that.
Well, the girls have to come out.
Okay, Tracy is going to give the instructions for the next step.
So we are breaking up into 2 groups for lunch today. Can someone tell me what time it is? 11:08. Okay, so I'm gonna dismiss the people that are going to room 103 first. This is going according to your second hours. So if you have Miss Abraham for second hour, you are going to room 103 right now. No.
Tracy, we have potato salad.
No, we have pasta salad. If you're Mr. Creaky, second hour, guys, hold on, please. If you have Mr. Creaky for second hour, please go ahead and go to room 103. Miss Zafta for second hour, go ahead and go to room 103. If you have Miss Wren, go to 103 as well. I'll go right now. No time for that at all. If you have Miss Garns for second hour, go to room 103. And if you have Mrs. Thompson, who is filling in for Mr. Hodgson, then you will all